This church is filled up. So I wish every Sunday were to be like this. Happy Easter once again. What would have happened to us if Christ had not risen from the dead? What would have been our fate if Christ had not been raised up from the dead? St. Paul says that we would have been the most foolish of all peoples. If Christ had not been raised from the dead, then we would have been the most foolish of all peoples. Then we shouldn't be here today celebrating this Mass. Because the resurrection is the very foundation of our faith. It is the substance of our hope. So when you take it away, you destroy the foundation upon which we stand. It is the reason we are here. It is the reason we celebrate the Mass. It is the reason we celebrate the sacraments. The power of the resurrection. And this is not, my dear friends, this is not a fiction. What we celebrate today is not a figment of the imagination. It is not a myth. It is not just a story. What we are celebrating today happened. It happened. And you could see that the disciples who were very timid before the resurrection, I mean, Peter denied him, and the disciples took to the hills. They all ran away for fear of the Jews. But today we could hear Peter make this public speech, now with courage, now with boldness. Peter could now talk about what he had seen. Because when Jesus rose from the dead, they ate and drank with him. They saw him. Thomas would put his fingers in his pierced side. So they saw him, they touched him, they witnessed him. And now they became courageous to go out and to witness what they had seen, what they had touched. And when you read the whole of the Acts of the Apostles, it's just about the disciples, the apostles, bearing witness to the power of the resurrection, that he is risen from the dead. He is no longer in the grave. That was all they did in the Acts of the Apostles. They went out to Jerusalem, to Judea, to the ends of the earth. They went out to testify about what they had seen and what they had touched, what they had experienced. So what we celebrate today, the resurrection of Christ, happened. Nothing before this resurrection and nothing after this resurrection can be compared to it. Nothing. Because it changes the whole of history. It changes the direction of human life. That we're not going to end in death. We're going to end in life. The life will triumph over death. And if this resurrection happened, if this was a reality, if this was an event that took place in time and space, my dear friends, we now have the answer to every human question. The resurrection provides the answer to every human question. Is it a question of death? Is it a question of grief? Is it a question of human suffering? Is it a question of evil? Is it a question of injustice? We have the answer right here in the resurrection of Christ. It provides the answer to every human question. And what is the answer to every human question? The answer is this: God will win. That is the answer. God will win. At the end of the day, victory belongs to God. After all is said and done, God will always have the final say. Evil will not have the final say. Death will not have the final say. Even man will not have the final say. Darkness will not have the final say. God will win. At the end of the day, God will win because God will always have the final say. That is the answer to every human question. That is the answer to every human longing. He will have the final say. And if God will have the final say, my dear friends, now tell me your experience. What exactly could be the lowest moment of your life? What exactly could be that experience that you may describe as the worst experience in your life? Tell me about it. Is it the loss of a loved one? Tell me about it. Is it cancer? Is it mental health challenge? Tell me about it. Is it crisis in marriage? What exactly could be your worst moment in life? Is it rejection, abandonment? Tell me about your lowest moment in life, and I'll tell you why Christ had to descend to the realm of the dead. Because when Christ descended into hell, he went to the lowest of the lowest of our human experience. And he went to the lowest of the lowest to identify with us in our lowest moments. He went to the worst to identify with us in our worst moments. He went right into the heart of darkness to identify with us in our dark moments. And why did he go down to Hades? It is to raise us up. It is to raise us up. And that is the hope we have, my dear friends. It is to raise us up to life. It is to raise us up to hope. It is to give consolation to those who are in desolation. It is to give hope to those who are in despair. It is to give life to those who are dead in sin. It is to give reason for us to be alive. And so, my dear friends in Christ, if you're going through depression, Christ has been raised up for you. If you're going through a sense of rejection right now, this is your time. This is the reason that Christ is presenting to you. Because with him we can face tomorrow. That is the good news of the resurrection. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, I have a reason to be alive. Because he lives, all fear is gone. The fear of sin, the fear of victimization, the fear of failure. Now Christ is giving us the power of his resurrection. What are we going to do with this power? The power of the resurrection is to confront every sin in our lives. I am no longer ashamed, afraid of my failures. I'm no longer ashamed, afraid of my limitations. This power of the resurrection empowers me to stand face to face with my failure, to stand face to face with my limitations, to stand face to face with my sin, and to overcome it, and to overcome them. Because it is not death that has the final say, it is life that has the final say. So we have a reason to live. If you're going through depression, my dear friends, the power of the resurrection says you have a reason to live. If you're going through abandonment, Jesus is saying today, you have a reason to live. You have a reason to be alive. Because he lives, I live. I know I'll face my future, and my life is worth a living just because he lives.